Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACW Newscast. I'm Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator. This is the 31st episode of the ACW Newscast. Man, we're doing a lot of these newscasts lately, huh? It's pretty awesome. But nonetheless, we have a lot of ground to cover here on tonight's newscast. We have a lot of news to get to. First of all, we're going to talk about another act that is being a threat to the internet and also a lot of things you may not know about. We're going to talk about that in this newscast. Plus, we're going to also talk about tomorrow's Royal Rumble for the WWE, my predictions to the certain matches we have so far. Plus, we're going to also go over ACW business with Excel and Impulse being uploaded. And finally, we're also going to go over the aftermath of the shutdown of Megaupload.com and where ACW Mega Events will be going as it pertains to that news. All that and more. But first of all, we're going to start off with your questions and comments as we always do for ACW Newscast. I didn't do it on the last newscast because we were running out of time, but I will make sure to do it right here and right now. So here we go. I think I answered this question already, but Dark Knight 777R said a week ago, since you already bought WWE 12, can you please use it for Fusion and add more characters like Itachi, Kasami, Pain from Naruto, characters from Bleach, Devil May Cry, Full Metal Alchemist, and please, can you add Divas before Fusion? ACW will be better with more characters. Well, see, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Yes, for those who don't know, I do have now the possession of WWE 12. It is within my possession. I got it probably a few months ago, and I'm still learning the aspects and stuff with the game. And if you guys have any comments as to what I can do with the game and how I can do certain things with it, then leave your suggestions on this video. But it's not an easy transition. I remember when ACW Excel and Impulse were doing their stuff on the Day of Reckoning 2 game, and it wasn't an easy transition to do it from there to SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 for Impulse and 2008 for Excel. It wasn't an easy transition, especially when you had like from GameCube to PS2. Not that that was the main factor, but the transition's not that easy. So you can't just expect W12 to come up maybe like before Fusion. That's definitely not going to happen. So, but I do have W12. I will give you news as it pertains to that, how that's going to affect, how there might be a possible transition from the SmackDown vs. Raw series to W12. It'll just have to be with patience, though, with you guys to just understand that it's a hard transition to go from one game system to another. But I do thank you, and also in terms of your characters, you know, ACW is always looking for new characters to put onto their company, and we will look into everything. Um, Brian Engaged 96, a loyal fan from ACW a week ago, also said ACW victory was great. Except for that atrocity at the end of the main event. I, like other fans, want revenge. Anyway, Sopa failed to pass, so we won. When will Animania 3 be up, and will there be a Royal Rumble this year? First of all, thank you for enjoying ACW victory. You guys set a record-breaking viewing for that on Blip TV. It exceeded ACW Mega Event standards from Genesis. Victory was a more highly viewed one, and it was a lot of downloads for the Victory Mega Event before the Mega Upload fiasco, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, that atrocity at the end, and as you guys saw in the ACW Impulse episode that was posted yesterday, a lot of stuff is going to be going down in terms of what the future holds for ACW and that brand for Impulse. SOPA failed to pass. Yeah, well, here's the thing. SOPA right now is shelved. It's not that it didn't pass. It's that SOPA is being shelved, and that the Congress will, I believe, work on that bill at a later time, and you know ACW will be on it as soon as it comes back active, because we're not going to allow that to happen within our jurisdiction, if you will. So we didn't really win anything. Yes, SOPA is right now inactive as we speak. But as I'll explain to you in a few minutes on this newscast, we haven't really won yet. Animania 3 will be up next year, Animania 3 will be uploaded next year or late this year, somewhere around that time frame. It'll be in Madison Square Garden in New York City, as you guys know already. There will be a Royal Rumble this year, obviously. I will actually try to do my best to keep the Royal Rumble Mega Event a special one, because those that remember, the Royal Rumble 2008 was one of the highly viewed mega events that we ever did for ACW, and people even loved the 2007 version, the first one we ever did. So trust me, this Royal Rumble will be something special, I guarantee it. Let's see, Joshua Jacker V5 says Mega Upload shutdown, damn Sopa and Piper. It is interesting that it's kind of odd. It's interesting that Mega Upload shuts down the day after the internet blackout. Kind of odd, isn't it? Um, well, this is a long one, but I'll read it. Who is this Max man? That's not a question, that's a username. But he says, "Hey Hakeem, I feel you about the shutdown of Mega Upload. However, there may be some hope. The first thing is that should SOPA PIPA be considered illegal and unconstitutional by not only our government, but worldwide governments, the Mega Upload will make the Department of Justice pay big time. However, since you obviously don't want to wait around that long, I heard a new YouTube-like site called Yazook that some cute Asian model and current Price is Right girl, cha-ching, started. Maybe if I could contact her for you and tell her about your show, then perhaps she could get your full-length video events restored on her website. If I can do so, then would you please do two favors for me in return? The first favor is to make Magnus and consequently a Titantron for him. And the second thing is to give WWE 12 a try. Thanks, Hakeem." Wow, a lot of stuff to get into. Again, we'll go over the Mega Upload stuff as we go on to this newscast, but that's interesting. I mean, that's interesting. I haven't heard of this website yet, so I'll obviously look into it right now as soon as this newscast is over. And also, um, here's the thing: I can't create your player because it's an original CAW, and I only do anime CAWs, video game CAWs that are. I do anime and I do anime related, anime inspired, and anime based characters. Now, I know some people were complaining when I first brought in Donkey Kong and Solid Snake. Fact is, Super Smash Bros. Has some anime fan bases, and not only that, Nintendo is a part of the anime community. So, there's certain things that were questionable that I did, but there's always a reason why I did the things that I did. So, and like I said, I will give WWE 12 a try, as I said during the show. Q9854 says, Chris Jericho saying that the end of the world as we know it. Looks like he's about to go after CM Punk. And Eve blames John Cena for Zack Ryder's fate at the hands of the big red freak Kane. I can understand Cena's about to turn heel and beat the living hell out of The Rock at WrestleMania 28. Also, what's up with Roger Smith banning Haru and Excel Arena anyway? I feel something's not right there. Well, for your first thing, Chris Jericho, as you guys know on Monday, said that he finally talked. Oh, holy crap. But anyways, he talked, and he said that it'll be the end of the world as we know it this Sunday at the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, not Royal Rumble, that's our thing. But anyways, that's what Jericho said, and I will give you my explanation as to why he said that when we go over the Royal Rumble predictions. Royal Rumble predictions. By the way, this is going to be a long newscast if you guys start wondering by now. As for Eve blaming John Cena, yeah, it's setting up the John Cena heel turn. People, I've been calling this. I have been calling this John Cena heel turn ever since The Rock returned. Ever since The Rock returned, this is the perfect time, and possibly the only time, last time, that John Cena has a chance to legitimately turn heel, a mega heel, one of the biggest heels ever since Triple H in 2000, and really just take reign over the WWE. This is the last chance that we could really care. Because if he doesn't turn heel at WrestleMania 28 or this year, then we don't care anymore. Then there's really no point to turn John Cena heel because he's done it all. But it is starting to turn into a John Cena heel turn. I've been calling it for years. I mean, for months now, with the whole Rock returning and the CM Punk storyline, and then the Rock returning for Survivor Series and all other stuff in between. So I've been calling it for a few months. So I can't wait for it to happen. John Cena's gonna be a perfect mega heel. You guys are all hating on him, that he's being a wuss, he's being a pussy, he's being all of this stuff. You guys just don't know. He's doing this on purpose. I'm telling you guys. He's going to be a great mega heel. Trust me. Yeah, and as for Roger Smith banning Haru at the Excel Arena, that was I did not see that coming. I was really upset about that because why would Haru Glory be banned? Why should Haru Glory be banned from the Excel Arena when he has done nothing? When it's Hiei. Hiei is the one that kidnapped his wife, okay? He is the one that kidnapped his wife and has attacked Haru for several weeks on ACW Excel, and yet Haru's the one that's banned and not Hiei? Something is not right, and we're gonna find out next week as to what is Roger Smith's reasoning for what he did. As a matter of fact, I believe tomorrow one of our interviewers caught an interview with Roger Smith about that whole fiasco, which will be posted on the ACW website, I believe tomorrow or Monday, whichever comes first. So I mean, there you go. And that'll be your questions and comments for this week. So thank you guys very much for those questions and comments. As always, remember to send your questions and comments on where the description tells you to send them. Okay, now we're gonna get to this new little bill that has been around for actually a few years. And if you don't know about it, I don't blame you, because not only did I not know about it, but it was done in secret. But I'm gonna read you just a little tidbits here of what this thing is all about. Um, let's see here. I'm here on this website here about the ACTA. I'm here about this thing, which for people that don't know, ACTA is the Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement that is scheduled to be ratified possibly June of this year by the European Union. But we'll get to all that in a few minutes. But I'm just gonna read a few things about it. The reverberations of the SOPA fight continue to be felt in the U.S. and elsewhere. But it is the Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement that has captured increasing attention this week. Several months after the majority of ACTA participants signed the agreement, most European unions and the United States, this has generated a flurry of protests. Thousands have taken to the streets in protests. In Poland, nearly a 1/4 of a million people signed a petition against the agreement, and a member of the European Parliament has resigned his position as rapporteur to scrutinize the agreement, concluding that the entire review process is a charade. Some are characterizing ACTA are as worse than SOPA, but the reality is somewhat more complicated. From a substantive perspective, ACTA's internet provisions are plainly not as bad as those contemplated by SOPA. Over the course of the several years of public protests and pressure, the internet provisions were gradually watered down with the removal of three strikes and you're out language. Other controversial provisions on statutory damages and anti-camcording rules were made optional rather than mandatory. While the internet provisions may not be as bad as SOPA, the remainder of the agreement raises many significant concerns. Let's see here, I'm gonna skip a few here. Beyond the substantive concerns, the ACTA process remains a major issue as it sets a dangerous precedent for international IP agreements. For years, the ACTA process was shrouded in secrecy, with only the occasional leak bringing plans to light. WikiLeaks cables confirmed that the secrecy was viewed as a serious problem in many participant countries. In fact, even as most countries supported greater transparency and the release of draft text, the U.S. steadfastly refused, using transparency as a bargaining chip to extract concessions from other negotiating partners. In addition to the transparency problems during the negotiations, the express exclusion of many countries from the process raises real fears that they will face increased pressure to meet ACTA standards in the years ahead. Now, given the ongoing concerns, the big question now is whether much can be done. The majority of ACTA countries have signed the agreement, but it will only take effect once 5 countries have formally implemented and ratified it. That is not expected until at least May of 2013, opening the door to stopping the agreement from taking effect. While there are global initiatives such as the Access Now petition, much of the activity has shifted to specific countries or regions. In the U.S., much of the focus is on whether ACTA must be approved by Congress. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, has raised questions about the issue. KEI has extensive coverage of the U.S. perspective of ACTA. The dangers associated with ACTA are not limited to this particular agreement. The agreement opens the door to further secretive negotiations, such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which contains extensive IP provisions that extend beyond ACTA. The SOPA battle was a big win for those concerned with balanced copyright in the open internet, but it is by no means the end of the fight. So basically what it's talking about is that it's going to be more like a worldwide version of SOPA. Although it's not as strict and as vital as SOPA was, the fact of the matter is this ACTA bill, the Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement, basically this thing, what it does is that it will have whatever copyrights it has. Do you know that it could copyright certain seeds that you plant if you want to grow certain foods and grains and fruits and vegetables? Do you actually know that this bill, if we were to be ratified by either this year or next year, do you know that it could also try to be the middleman as in terms of what medicine can be distributed and not be distributed? they can be the middleman for those things. And also, of course, the internet, it can also have the right to ban copyright websites that they considered they consider that infiltrate copyrights. Pretty much the same thing that we went through for SOPA. So there'll be a video posted on this, I believe tomorrow or Monday, about this situation. But again, this is another fight that we have to do. It's another fight we have to go through, and hopefully, I have links on the bottom of this video that'll suggest what you can do to help to let your voice be heard and stop this bill from happening. And of course, like we did with SOPA, we will put on links and we will put our support on the website and other ACW ventures to make sure this thing does not see the day of light like SOPA. So, next, we talk about the Megaupload aftermath. Now, as everyone knows by now, Megaupload was shut down by the Department of Justice, I believe last week, a day after the internet issued a blackout as opposing SOPA, including this website, including this company, Anime Championship Wrestling. As you guys know, Megaupload was the website for ACW Mega Events for you guys to download, and we started it with ACW Victory, and there was a record high of downloads with ACW Victory, but now, with Megaupload not there, it's no more. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to be doing here. You will see ACW shows. We're talking about Excel and Impulse and all that stuff, and specials. You will see them on YouTube and Blip TV. That's not changing at all. As for the Mega Events, you're going to see them on Blip TV, split in parts, and you will also be able to download the Mega Events off of Vio. That's right. For those who forgot, we do have a Vio account, and we use the Vio as a backup. So we're going to be using Vio as a way to let you guys download and watch the full-length Mega Events. So that's what's going to happen. Vio and Blip TV will be used for Mega Events. Specials and shows for ACW will be used for YouTube and Blip TV. So that will be this thing settled, and we will make that thing official as the days go by here on our website. Finally, we get down to one of the biggest events in ACW. Well, not really ACW. Sorry, I was still on my ACW mindset. But we're going to be watching tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, today, whenever you're watching this, we're gonna be going through the WWE Royal Rumble, that annual Royal Rumble from the WWE, and obviously, with the exception of WrestleMania, it's one of the mostly viewed, highly anticipated pay-per-views every year, and it's a pretty cool card. I'm just gonna go over the three main ones. First of all, you've got Daniel Bryan defending the World Heavyweight Championship against the Big Show and Mark Henry. Now, the smart money is that Daniel Bryan is going to lose this match. I mean, you have two behemoths. You have a steel cage. And Daniel Bryan has wasted all his, let's put it this way. He's wasted all his chances of getting out of ways of retaining his title. The smart money is that I would assume that the Big Show will win the title after months and weeks of being ridiculed as winning it in the shortest time possible, or whatever they want to go with. So the money is on Big Show to win the title. I, however, will go with Daniel Bryan because I think Daniel Bryan will be going with the World Heavyweight Championship all the way to WrestleMania. I know it's very, 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 how you say, ridiculous. And plus we have the Elimination Chamber where he might defend the title there with his 5 other people that may really give him a run for his money. So I understand the cynicism right there. But I think Daniel Bryan is going to go all the way to WrestleMania with the title because otherwise they wouldn't have given him the title at TLC if they weren't planning to do big things with him. And right now he's turned into a great heel. If you don't remember, in 2009, CM Punk did the same thing. CM Punk won the World Heavyweight Championship for the second time from Jeff Hardy, I believe at Extreme Rules of 2009. And he started becoming more from a face, slowly turning into a heel. Kind of like what Daniel Bryan's doing right now, until CM Punk completely turned heel, I believe in the summer. So Daniel Bryan does the same thing here. Daniel Bryan, I don't know how, I don't know why, but Daniel Bryan will somehow edge out a win here, which will give Daniel Bryan another victory under his belt as the World Heavyweight Champion. Next, you've got CM Punk, the WWE Champion, defending his title against Dolph Ziggler. I'm calling this right now an early match of the year contender because these two can go. These two had a great just beautiful match last year on Raw that was highly critical of praise, as both deservingly should get it. So they're gonna have their match on a pay-per-view for the title this time, and I think this will be a great match. Like I said, it'll be an early match of the year contender. Dolph Ziggler can go. He's been so impressive. He has improved in strides. This is the guy that went from Chavo Guerrero's golf caddy to a Spirit Squad member. From only introducing himself as "Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler," now he is, I think, one of the real deals of the company. He is a future company man. He's a future guy that you can see holding a championship and making money for the company. So, but right now, this will be a test for Dolph Ziggler. This will be a test to see if he can hang with the main eventers such as CM Punk and John Cena down the road. But obviously, CM Punk will retain the title here. He will retain the title, and he will go all the way to WrestleMania with the WWE title, just like I said for Daniel Bryan with the World Heavyweight title. But this will be a test for Dolph Ziggler to see if he is truly ready to go that extra mile, just like last year was for Morrison, and the year after that, the year before that was Jeff Hardy. This time of year around, this is a test for Dolph Ziggler to see if he is main event material, and we will see at the Royal Rumble. And then finally, the big draw of the whole event period is the WWE Royal Rumble, the 30-man Royal Rumble this year instead of 40-man Royal Rumble. Probably a smart idea, but there's a lot of competitors. You've got The Miz, you've got R-Truth, you got Sheamus, Wade Barrett, you've got Chris Jericho, possibly Randy Orton. Who else you got? You got a lot of people. You got Kofi Kingston. You've got I guess Santino, if that really counts as anything. You got a lot of possible people. However, I think there are only three people. There are only three people that make sense winning this Rumble. I'm gonna just start it off with three, going from the least to best. Starting off would be Randy Orton. Now, I know you guys are saying, "Oh, not Randy Orton again," and I know you guys are saying, "Didn't he win the Royal Rumble like 2 years ago?" True, but you gotta understand, where is the Royal Rumble this year? It's in St. Louis, Missouri. That's Randy Orton's hometown. And not only that, WrestleMania 28 is on April 1st, which would be Randy Orton's birthday. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's so perfectly aligned for this to happen. And if Orton, and plus, Orton is a big name. He's one of the big names in the Rumble, so it's possible he can win it. Which I don't. But then me, I don't see a Randy Orton solo title match against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I don't see it. But I'll get to that later. But also Orton is kayfabe injured. Maybe not. I don't know. But we don't know if he's gonna be at the Rumble or not. So we'll find out this Sunday. But it's very possible he can win the Rumble. Second, Sheamus. Sheamus has been a beast. He has been on a roll for a few weeks and months now. If you've noticed, he hasn't had really any feuds except with Jinder Mahal squashing him every week, which really, like, can I get Muhammad Hassan back or Daivari at least? But anyways, Sheamus has been on a roll. He's been a beast. He's been built up to be this big monster that will be a very dominant force in the Rumble for sure. And if any new talent out there in the WWE deserves a big win to propel them up to that stardom, to propel them up to that level where Orton and CM Punk and John Cena are, it possibly really will be Sheamus. I think Sheamus has a big shot. I think he has a great shot. Hell, I think he will be one of the final four. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think people are underestimating Sheamus this year. Just because he looks dominant, people think he's not going to win it. But I think he's going to shock a lot of people. So watch out for Sheamus. I think he's another person that's going to win. Now, I thought Sheamus was going to win the Rumble. And I had that thought before this past Monday's Raw. That was until we saw the highlight reel this past Monday, which saw Chris Jericho finally speak. It's a miracle. And Chris Jericho said this. This Sunday at the Royal Rumble, it will be the end of the world as you know it. That was all that needed to be said and done, and that was all I needed to hear to confirm my belief that Chris Jericho this Sunday is winning the Royal Rumble. There is no possible way, after weeks of not saying anything, after weeks of not giving the fans, us, what we want, there is no reason for Chris Jericho not to win this Rumble. Because if Chris Jericho doesn't win this Rumble after weeks and months of this hype that he gave us, only to do the stuff that he was doing, and if he doesn't win the Rumble in some convincing fashion, I think it's going to devalue Jericho's return, and I think it's going to devalue Jericho, period. Because then you're going on the road to WrestleMania, and what does Jericho do afterwards? Sure, he can go with a streak match against The Undertaker, but does anyone going to really buy at that point Chris Jericho beating The Undertaker? I don't, and I don't think so. So I think Chris Jericho is going to win the Rumble. Chris Jericho will meet CM Punk for the WWE title at WrestleMania 28. That's my belief. I think Chris Jericho... Remember, Chris Jericho is not back for us morons, okay? He is not back for our needs. He's not back for what we want him to do. He's back for himself and to reclaim his throne as the best in the world, which CM Punk has unofficially claimed. So he's not back for us. So all this bitching about him not saying anything for weeks and doing stuff that you don't expect Y2J to do, of course, exactly. That's the whole point. So with that in mind, I think Chris Jericho is going to be winning the Royal Rumble this Sunday. But place your bets onto what you think is going to happen at the Royal Rumble, who is going to win the Royal Rumble, and the title match at the Rumble. Post your predictions on the bottom of this video. Plus, I really don't do this because it's kind of early to do it, but with the way it's looking right now, probably after the Royal Rumble, I'm going to give you my WrestleMania 28 prediction card right here, right now. Here's what I see is going to happen. And it depends solely on the Rumble right now. If Chris Jericho wins the Rumble, and with Triple H coming back next week, think of it this way, Chris Jericho, if he wins the Royal Rumble, and with Triple H coming back next week for Raw on Monday, as it pertains to John Titus and his role as interim GM, it's going to be Chris Jericho versus CM Punk for the WWE title at WrestleMania 28, of course, and it will be Triple H facing The Undertaker for a third time at WrestleMania 28. I really don't want to see another Triple H Undertaker match, but that's where it's going to go if Jericho wins the Rumble. Also, you'll have Daniel Bryan. I believe Daniel Bryan will go one-on-one against Mark Henry at WrestleMania 28, and I think Mark Henry will probably win the title there, I guess. And then also you have Miz and R-Truth. I believe Miz and R-Truth will be having a match at WrestleMania. Orton and Wade Barrett can possibly have a WrestleMania match there as well. Obviously, The Rock and John Cena's official has been official for a year now. Dolph Ziggler, I believe, will have a hardcore match with Mick Foley after what's been developing lately these past couple of days. Cody Rhodes, I believe, will defend the IC title against his brother Goldust for Goldust's last run, perhaps. For the U.S. title, Jack Swagger, I think Zack Ryder will come back and have his underdog story by defeating Jack Swagger at WrestleMania for the U.S. title to become a U.S. champion for a second time. This is shaping up to be a pretty good Rumble. It's shaping up to be a really good WrestleMania in my opinion. It's going to be loads better than last year. It has to be. You got The Rock and John Cena. That automatically squanders everything else from last year. Now, if Sheamus wins the Rumble, it's going to be, I believe, Triple H turning heel on Monday, and Triple H will finally have his feud against CM Punk for the WWE title. Chris Jericho will be the one that goes after The Undertaker in his streak, and Sheamus will be the Royal Rumble winner that takes on Daniel Bryan and wins the title at WrestleMania, and then all the other matches still stay the same. Again, it matters. The Rumble is the match that matters. It is the match that will set up the WrestleMania card for me. If Jericho wins the Rumble, Jericho will be facing Punk for the title. Triple H will be facing The Undertaker, and I believe Mark Henry and Daniel Bryan will be at the WrestleMania World Heavyweight title picture. If Sheamus wins, Sheamus will face Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Chris Jericho will be the one to go after The Undertaker in his streak, and Triple H will turn heel and finally get his hands at CM Punk and the WWE title. So either way, Punk and Daniel Bryan will be going to WrestleMania as the champions of the respective brand. So there you go. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this very long newscast, obviously, but I do it for you guys. Again, I'll be posting my links on the description about the ACTA bill, sending your Royal Rumble and WrestleMania prediction cards, and everything else in between. I am Hakeem Johnson, telling you guys always to stay cool. Stay cool. I'll see you guys next week.